Good morning. I am Daryl Eatman, Chief Examiner and the host for today's Civil Service Commission meeting. Leanne Guzman, Project Coordinator, is our co-host. Please be aware, if you are disconnected during the meeting, please click on your email or calendar invite to join the meeting again. Please keep yourself on mute until your item is addressed. If you are using a phone, use *6 to mute or unmute yourself. Once the Civil Service Commission has addressed your agenda item, you may leave the meeting. We have a quorum of our commission members. At this time, I give the meeting to Pastor Gregory Jordan.
Good morning, everyone. We will open our meeting with our roll call. Commission members, Michael Flickinger, Vice President.
Present.
India Pierce Lee, Secretary.
Present.
Cyrus L. Patton, Cyrus L. Patton, member.
Present.
And Gregory Jordan, present. Do we have our counsel, Patricia Aston?
Present.
Office of the Civil Service Commission staff, Rachon Long, Executive Director.
Present.
Leanne Guzman, Assistant to the Executive Director.
Present.
Daryl Eatman, Chief Examiner.
Present.
Lila Abrams Fitzpatrick, Business and Operations Manager.
Present.
Anthony Hitton, Examiner Supervisor. Do we have a court reporter present today?
Present.
Agenda guest, and I'm going to apologize in advance if I mispronounce your name. Please correct for the record. Tiffany Fishbach, Assistant Director of Law. Nicole Carlton, Assistant Director of Public Safety.
Present.
Monique Tab Young, Employee Relations Manager, Human Resources Department. Brandon Malone, Waste Collector, Public Works. Jacob Neola, Electric Bridge Operation, Public Works.
Present.
Randall Scott, Commissioner of Public Works. James Ligon, Supervisor, Public Works.
Present.
Gerald Ship, Sergeant, Division of Police. William Mashesky, Sergeant, Division of Police. Ashley Santa. Ashley Santa, are you present?
I am present, yes.
Thank you. Ani Guzan, Office of Professional Standards.
I am present.
Brandy Hall, Office of Professional Standards.
Present.
Zakia McNear, Office of Professional Standards.
Present.
Thank you. Moving on to our item number 2 on our agenda, which is accepting of today's agenda.
Motion to approve Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Leon.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 3, approval of the minutes from the July 12th, 2024 Civil Service Commission meeting.
Motion to approve Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Leon.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 4, approval of the routine matters.
Motion to approve Flickinger.
Secondly.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Lee, I.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 5, approval of the creation of the classification of Assistant Director of Port Control.
I will be speaking to that piece, Pastor Jordan. We have created an Assistant Director of Port Control. We currently have an Assistant Director classification that is coded as just general for different divisions and departments, but the Department of Port Control requires a separate Assistant Director classification so that they can capture the different aviation standards and needs needed to run their operation. So we presented you with the general description, and then I believe there's also attached samples of the descriptions that would be used for Assistant Director of Finance, Marketing, whatever the service area is that they will be hiring for. So it's just a separate classification designed to be used only by the Department of Port Control.
Motion to approve, Flickinger.
Secondly.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Lee, I.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 6, consideration of the request from the Department of Public Works for an order relative to Brandon Malone, Waste Collector, Division of Streets, in accordance with Civil Service Rule 9.10, Section 14, fit for duty. Is Mr. Malone here? Is Mr. Malone present? We will give him to the end of the meeting. We'll move that to the end. Item 7, consideration of the request from the Department of Public Works for an order relative to Jacob Neoli, Electric Bridge Operator, Division of Streets, in accordance with Civil Service Rule 9.10, Section 14, fit for duty. Is Mr. Neoli here?
Present, and it's a canola, Pastor.
Nola. Thank you. I didn't know if the K was silent or not, so thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, just think of the oil, yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Mr. Canola, do you have any objections to moving forward with the examination?
I do not.
You do not?
No.
All right. Office of the Civil Service Commission, would you like to tell him what to expect?
Yes, the Office of the Civil Service Commission will communicate with you to schedule an appointment with you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Canola.
Thank you.
Do we
Moving
need?
on. Do we need, I'm sorry, yes, we
Yeah.
do. I'm so sorry. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion to accept the request of the city.
Second, Flickinger.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the request. All in favor?
Lee, I.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 8, consideration of the request from Ashley Santa to be reinstated back to the Department of Public Safety, Division of Police as a patrol officer. Is Ms. Santa here?
I'm present, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. As a representative here for the city.
Pastor Sergeant Mashesky is present.
Good morning, sir. Sergeant, before we move forward, I'm asking, are you all willing to accept her back, or do we need to move forward with? Is the department open to her reinstatement is what I should say. Okay, well, we'll move forward.
Sergeant was on mute. I don't know if he knew that.
Okay. Sergeant
I'm sorry,
Mashesky.
Pastor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you now, sir. Thank you.
I apologize. Yes, there is an objection, Pastor. You need to move forward with the hearing.
All right, thank you, sir. So just to state the rules as we move forward, both sides will be allowed a total of 10 minutes to present any information you'd like to come before the commission. And with that said, I'm going to allow Sergeant Mashevsky to go first.
Good morning, Pastor, and good morning, everybody in the commission. Ms. Santa had left the Division of Police, resigned from the Division of Police to go to another department. She has since requested to come back to the division. We conducted a background investigation, which is typical of what we do when somebody's trying to be reinstated. During the background investigation, we discovered a discrepancy. She had gone to another agency and took a polygraph, and in that polygraph, she admits that she had experienced some drugs, that she tried drugs in her younger years, and it wasn't divulged to us in the original application when she initially applied with us. So because of that discrepancy, the division denied her request.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Santa, you have the floor.
Good morning. I want to take this time to apologize first off. I believe it was an oversight. I applied for the division back in, don't quote me on this, I believe it was 2018. It was my first real police job. It was my first real job I actually applied for on my own. Going through the application process was very stressful on what to expect. When I had applied, I had admitted to some drug use, but I guess there was a one-time drug use that I did not disclose on my police application that I did omit to on my polygraph test with Garfield. It was never a effort to mislead or try and hide information from the division whatsoever, which is why I was honest on my polygraph test. And I believe that I did disclose that to Cleveland, which is why I did admit to Garfield of that drug use when I was a juvenile. That is no reflection of who I am today or who I am as an officer. I've done great things for the Cleveland Division of Police. I've won Officer of the Month. I've been given commander's accommodations, and I believe that I'm a great asset to the Division of Police. I grew up in Cleveland. I was raised in Cleveland. I have a very strong I really care for Cleveland, and I believe that I have a lot of purpose to serve the division and help the citizens. I would have never admitted on that polygraph test to that juvenile use if I did not believe I did not already disclose it and I was not honest to begin with. I did pass that polygraph test, and I can assure you there is nothing else that I have not disclosed. I have been completely honest, and I believe I have proved to the division time and time again during investigations, court hearings, even, being suspected of, we get disciplined here and there, and we've had to go to interviews, and I have in the past admitted to when I had wrongdoing, and I have taken accountability time and time again when anything has been in question. I do believe that I have a lot to offer for Cleveland. Even since I've been at my new division, I've done great things for the department. I've won Officer of the Month. I've helped bring a sex trafficking victim home. I've done numerous things to help my community and help the Cleveland Division of Police, even at my other agency. So I really do believe that I have a lot to offer, and that I know integrity, and I know that being honest is a very important thing to have in this profession. And I just want to assure you that it was never any way was to be misled or to withhold information, which is why I was honest on my polygraph test. I would like the opportunity to serve again and to come back to Cleveland. Being at my other department, I've realized how much I miss Cleveland, and that's who started and jump-started my career. And I have a lot of love for the city, and I can't see myself serving anywhere else, honestly, which is why I applied back. Seeing the events and seeing how much Cleveland does do for our city, I believe that's where I belong. And I want to thank you for this opportunity to explain myself. And I really hope that you guys consider giving me a chance to come back, and I won't let you down. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Santa. Is there anything further from the city?
No, sir, that was the only thing that we had on her background, was just that discrepancy.
All right, thank you, sir. Are there any questions for either party from the commission members? Okay. Seeing that, I'm open to a motion.
I do have a question. Sergeant Majeski, when these questions are asked, was she asked directly that, or how is the application, that process for them to rebuild that?
So essentially, it's a general question. You know, have you tried drugs before or whatever? And I guess in her case, it was so long ago. I mean, it didn't specify, hey, did you do drugs at 12? You know what I mean? So you know, so it's just a general question, if that answers your question. Have you ever tried, you know, illicit drugs or whatever? And they would have to kind of specify that they use drugs or tried drugs before.
Okay. And in terms of, I don't know if it's appropriate, her work record, you know, it sounds like she was there. I don't know if there's other information around that, or if it's the only reason the department doesn't want her back.
I'm sorry, can you specify? What are you
I
asking?
mean, are there, in terms of her performance, was she, you know, performed well on the job, other than the fact that this one issue came up?
Yeah, she wasn't a problem officer. I believe she may have been disciplined before, but again, like she indicated too, you know, in law enforcement and the things that they do every day, you know, they do get disciplined, unfortunately, for, you know, policy violations and stuff like that. But she wasn't a problem officer.
Are there any further questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion. We have one. Okay, I don't have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for reinstatement.
Second, Flickinger.
So you're making a motion. I want to make sure for the record to approve her request for reinstatement.
Correct.
It's been seconded. It's been moved and seconded to approve her request for reinstatement. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, no. That motion was approved.
Okay, Ms. Sansa, we'll be in touch with you. The commission has approved your reinstatement, so the division will be in contact with you to process you to be reinstated to the Division of Police.
Thank you very much. You guys all have a great day.
Thank you. Item 9, consider.
And I'm
No,
going
go
to
ahead.
jump off here, Pastor, if you don't mind. And everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. I hope everybody has something planned wonderful. Take care now.
Thank you. Item 9, consideration of the request from Honey Wanson, I hope I'm close, for the late filing for the position of private secretary. Is she present?
Yes, sir, I'm present.
And could you give us the proper pronunciation of your last name, please?
My last name is Guanzon.
Wanson, okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And do we have a representative here for the city for this particular item?
Good morning, Pastor. This is Leanne from Civil Service.
Thank you, Leanne. I'm going to move forward. The rules are the same pertaining to the length of time. You each have 10 minutes to present anything you would like to state for the commission. With that, Ms. Leanne, you have the floor.
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to give the commission just a bit of a background. We received a request from the Office of Professional Standards to post the private secretary bulletin. It was approved at the 5/24/2024 Civil Service Commission meeting. The bulletin was then posted from 5/31 through 6/27. And we recently gave the exam for this yesterday. So this bulletin was posted for 4 weeks, available on the City of Cleveland website for any applicants. And I believe we ended up receiving about 45 applications for this one over that 4-week period.
Thank you. Ms. Guanzon, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. We are requesting an appeal for late filing due to the recent city cyber attack. Due to that, our it severely disrupted our. We have some new applicants that I'm assisting with in the operations. Due to this, we can't really rely on our system. And it is like the filing deadline is impossible to make it when our system is down and on and off. And I'm assisting with the new applications with our new HR, helping the operations investigators. Yes, and we're hoping that you'll understand that our system was disrupted due to the cyber attack, and we can't really I can't really explain on my end how we end up of not getting a late filing for this test.
Okay, are there any questions from the commission?
For the city, so this position was posted, was that posting affected by the computer issues at the city? If you were on a normal outside computer, could you apply for it? Was there any or can you let the commission know if there was any disruption during that 4-week period where individuals could not apply for it because the city systems were down?
Yes, I'm happy to answer that. Actually, no. The cyber attack that happened was an internal issue that happened. It did not affect any external links, or the city website was still up and running. The job site was still up and running. The only thing that it affected was the city hall network. So we weren't able to, while you were on the city's network, you weren't able to access certain websites. But if I were to go home and get on my home Wi-Fi, I could access any and all. So if they were trying to apply for the position at work, they couldn't have. Or if they were on that certain network that was affected. But if they were to went home and filed the application, then they would have been able to.
To apply during our work and using our work computer. I tried to also apply from my from our home using our internet at home. I tried going to the NeoGov and log in. I tried to search the OPS secretary and tried to upload my resume. There's some glitch that I can't really go into the website for some reason, or maybe it's my internet or the connection with the website. I actually had a screenshot and gave it to our human resources to prove that I can't really get into the network, to the website. I tried to log in, it says it's error. It says I don't have permission. That's all I can remember as far as I can explain.
So
I have two,
go
Mr.
ahead.
Flickinger, I saw the hand from the Office of Professional Standards, and then I also saw India's hand. So, all right, Office of Professional Standards.
Thank you, Pastor. I would just like to say, it became, we were notified that we were not on the distribution list for the position. Our HR manager was notified by Leanne that we were not. We have since been placed on a notification list for civil service postings. Again, The position was posted on 5/31. The cyber attack hit early June. We do have employees, unfortunately, some of our temps that we're talking about here today, who do not have home internet access. They solely relied on anything that they were able to do while they were at work here. And again, our internet is still on and off to this day. We have glitches. So I just would like for that to be taken into consideration as well.
Thank you. India.
Yeah, I noticed in the material received that Director Long, you are open to opening this up for the others to take the test. Is that correct?
What I communicated to them, Ms. Lee, is that the bulletin was closed and that I would forward the information to the commission to determine whether it should be opened up or not. You know, the bulletin was available before the cyber attack. You could have applied by phone, you could have applied at home, you could have applied anywhere other than here. So it is my opinion that there was adequate time to apply. It's a public bulletin, it's open to the public. So irregardless if you received an internal notification or not, it was available. So I will, you know, let you make that determination whether we will open it back up or not.
Yeah, and we received no notifications from anybody else that applied for that position or any positions that they weren't able to access the application site. During the cyber attacks or during any of our networking issues, we did not have a single applicant reach out and say, we can't access the applications, what's happening? Everybody else was able to.
So we have actually, to the chairman, we have three people here for the same request.
Yeah, correct.
So during those times, we were focused on helping our operations. And I believe I submitted a IT help desk ticket to the City of Cleveland City Hall IT desk that our system is still down. I can send you the sent items that I submit. Yeah.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Mr. Flickinger. You had a remark you wanted to give, and then we'll go to the Office of Professional Standards.
My question was to Ms. Gazan, during this period, since you were having issues, did you ever call the civil service and say, I'm having trouble getting in? Are there any other ways to get it in? During, you know, from 5/31 to 6/27, to call them before the bulletin was completed.
I called several times. I haven't got any answer, but I went there with my coworker investigator LJ to ask for the civil service test as well, and to get like any booklet that we can review. And I haven't thought about giving that concern to the people in the city hall. We can't really applying to it because in my understanding we have our HR and we have our management manage that on our end, and we were given a what is this? We were given awards to wait until we get that list, or until we get that job posted, then we can apply to it. When I tried applying, the website is not accessible to us. And I'm really deeply get that day during those 4 weeks. We really apologize for the delay, but we're really eager to get in this list. And we appreciate it for your understanding and consideration if you have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Office of Professional Standards again.
Thank you, Pastor. I just want to reiterate, I know that there are several other applicants who did not have issues logging in. I want to focus on the fact that we do have applicants here who are trying to get on the test who don't have the means to pay for home internet at their homes. They solely rely on what they can do while they're here. Again, they weren't made aware of the posting. We weren't on the distribution list. So they were at a little bit of a disadvantage at that. They are very eager and wanting to just have the opportunity to sit for the test. So again, any consideration on those factors would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Are there any further questions from the commission?
Pastor, I have a question, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Ms. Guanzon indicated that she was having difficulty uploading her resume. And I know Mr. Flickinger asked a similar question, but when you were having trouble trying to access the internet or the website, or having trouble uploading your resume, did you notify someone in the commission to give you assistance in doing that?
I tried calling the civil service assistance, but I haven't got any answer from phone. Through email, I believe I emailed prior to this week regarding the civil service test. Other than that, I haven't really emailed specifically for these applications.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
And Pastor Jordan, this is Leanne. We do have a recruitment center here at City Hall in room 30 set up with computers and recruitment help that helps the applicants, any external applicants that need help with applying for the positions, for uploading information, for helping them just anything when it comes to job related. And they had Wi-Fi down there that they were using to assist all of these applicants. And this has been up and running since, I believe, December of last year. We got the recruitment center up and running. And also, anybody that applies for the city, for city jobs, nobody else has that opportunity to have a department backing them. These external applicants go on the city website on their own time and look through these jobs daily. That's what we tell all external applicants that give us a call. Hey, I'm looking for a job. What can I do? We let them know, go on the city website constantly. Look through the jobs, look through the job descriptions, apply wherever you see fit. Even if you don't qualify for it, try applying just so you get used to the system. And so I feel like any external applicant should have the same chances as anybody else. The rest of these people that applied for this position applied within the right amount of time. And the test was given yesterday for this as well. Because we didn't want to delay this exam any further.
Thank you. I recognize a hand from the Office of Professional Standards.
Thank you, Pastor. I understand, Leanne, thank you for mentioning the recruiting center. That's something new to me. I've been here for about a year and I've never heard of the recruitment center. So I appreciate you letting us know about that. And with that being said, the fact that I didn't know about it, I would assume that most of us don't know about it, it being relatively new since December. Did anything ever go out about it, there being a new recruitment center?
I believe that's directed to you, Leanne.
Yes, I believe we've spoke about it on plenty of the HR leads meetings that we have. I'm not sure who the contact is for OPS for HR leads, but it was made known to every department that our recruiter is. We actually have 2 recruiters down there, who they were, what they do, how they can help.
Thank you. Go ahead, Office of Professional Standards.
Thank you. Prior to me taking the position over here, we did have a general manager from August of last year until March of this year, who I don't know how involved she was with recruitment. When I took it over, I became a little bit more engaged with recruitment and hiring. So again, that information was never passed on to us as an organization. As far as having no department backing them, you mentioned something about external candidates not having departments who are there to back them. Those people also probably have references, just like anybody else applying for a job. We are in a unique circumstance right now because we did bring on these temporary employees to fill these pretty robust, important positions with OPS. They've been working as temporary help for the past 3 to 4 months, and they've become very accustomed to their positions. They enjoy working for the city. They enjoy working for OPS. And again, between the cyber attack, the lack of ability to access the internet from their home, which they can't be faulted for. Not everybody can afford internet. It is expensive. And not having knowledge of the recruitment center that has computers available to them, again, is a detriment to the fact that they were not able to take this test.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, I'm Marcus Perez. I'm the administrator for OPS. I apologize for being late. I had a meeting with the monitoring team over their visit just now. Do you mind if I just comment off of what my general manager just said?
Go ahead, Marcus.
Thank you very much, sir. So, Kristen had alluded to the general manager that was in her position. And I just want to say that that individual was not qualified for that position. And that came out during an external investigation, which is why that individual left. Due to her having been in that position, it was identified that nothing was being done on the HR side. And a lot of things were being missed. We've had plenty of challenges here at the Office of Professional Standards. With the cyber attack, that was one, but I think that one's already been talked about. The biggest thing is when you run an organization, you need good people, people of character, people of integrity, and in this agency, people who want to serve. The 3 ladies that we have, they come from different situations, they come from different backgrounds, and they all come from Cleveland. They have sacrificed and they have become extremely resilient throughout their life to make it this far. These are people, we can't train people to be like this. We're fortunate that these 3 individuals came into this agency in a time that this agency was going through a cultural change, cultural transformation. They are the heartbeat of what our organization is because they understand customer service. They understand when these individuals come in, they're coming in at the most vulnerable state of their life. They're coming in off of a situation that was very emotional, and they have the empathy. Something, once again, we can't train how to be a good person. Can't train how to be genuine and authentic. And we've seen what that does to an agency when you have those people, and those people are the front line, that first person that our community members see. That's the first engagement. That's the first time that they either believe in this office and our mission, or they walk away feeling very concerned that no one cares. And I can't emphasize that enough with our mission and what we're charged with. These 3 individuals are irreplaceable. What they've done for us in the months that they've been here, we are under a consent decree, unlike some of the other departments that are out there. Our CPRB secretary in the past has gotten us downgraded in so many areas. Ms. Hall has elevated that. The monitoring team was here. They conducted some assessments. They conducted some audits. And they are extremely pleased with the way these ladies work. They're interlocked, interconnected into this whole agency. The trust, the confidence, what has been built with our employees for where they came from, what OPS was for the last 8 years, not allowing these ladies to have an opportunity is a detriment, not just to them, and I'm being selfish here, but to this agency. And I just want to make sure that, you know, I stress that enough. If for what we do and for who we serve, the board, I believe you guys want the very best. I believe you want the best people that are going to serve your community. And we're going to take a risk. We're going to take a risk if we go another way. And I do, you know, I take a hit. I'm the lead. I'm the administrator. I'm accountable for them not being there.
Pastor
it's
Jordan, I'm
something-
glad, if I can, this is Patty, if I
Yes.
could jump in here, because honestly, I've been with this commission for a bit now. I have never had anybody give such, I will just say it, completely biased views on a competitive test, even if legally these are competitive tests. I understand we're under a consent decree. I understand all of that. If I may have a moment of to ask a question, Pastor Jordan, to anybody from OPS. This was their request to the commission to have this competitive exam. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and to anybody in OPS, with these, obviously these three candidates that are on this agenda were all temporary positions working in the OPS office. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and through the chair, so did these three candidates come to anyone in OPS during the posting of the dates from May 31st to 6/27 to let anyone in the hierarchy in OPS know that there was a problem with the post, with their access? Did anybody get notice from them?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm
Okay,
not
and
sure
Mr. Chair, if
Miss
I can,
Honey-
sir, if I can,
Yes.
if I can, thank you, Pastor Jordan, to anyone in OPS and the hierarchy of OPS, because again, this is kind of unusual that anybody comes and gives such testimony on a competitive exam. I've never seen this. Did anybody in the hierarchy in OPS contact civil service to let civil service know that they knew that there was a problem?
Ma'am, I sent Miss Honey and investigator LaChica down to City
That's
Hall.
not my question, sir. My
But it
question
is, ma'am.
was,
It
did
is-
any,
but
if
ma'am,
I
it
may,
is your question because
Pastor
you're being
Jordan, he's
biased
not
and you're not
answering. If
allowing me to
anyone
answer.
from
Let's just
OPS,
speak one at a time. Thank
if
you.
anyone from
Ms. Aston.
OPS, the department requesting the specific exam who had knowledge of a problem, contact civil service? Did anybody from OPS?
Ma'am, if you would please let me speak. I sent individuals in person down to civil service to figure out what was going on and what was happening with this test. Those individuals came back and said the test wasn't occurring. So there's conflict in information, but I sent them to the office.
Marcus, I think the question, I just want to, so we're clear for the record, did anyone in management reach out to civil service?
You know what? I think yes. And I'm going to go through some emails because I believe we were with the law department, Ms. Arcadia Douglas, and I want to say, there's Tiffany Fishbach, were the ones that were assisting us because they have an MOU with the union. And our requirement was to get a civil service test done when we couldn't find a union candidate.
No,
That was
I'm
part of
not
the
talking
memorandum.
about setting up a test. I'm talking about
No, sir.
once the test was announced and your employees told you that they were having a problem, did a representative, a management representative, reach out and notify civil service that there is a problem?
So I'm going to defer to Kristen because I was under the impression there was not a test. And I was under the impression that there was not an issue. So if there was an issue, I will pass it over to Ms. Trexler because I was not notified of it. But what I was notified of was not receiving any information that there was a test. But
Before she
let Ms.
goes,
Trexler
I'm sorry, just for a point of clarification for me, you said that you sent the candidates to civil service.
Right, sir, because I sent one candidate with LaChica to civil service to identify when the test was. When they came back, they said there was no test. I can get Investigator LaChica up here, and I'm sure Miss Honey signed in down there. But for them to come back and say that, I was under the impression that that test had not been posted. I did not find out the test was posted until our HR rep, who we just hired for the first time, came into the agency. We actually got him in about 2 weeks ago, and then we sent him down with a list of all of our HR concerns for him to work with the department. That's when it was identified that this thing was open from March or from May 31st. That's when I was notified it was open May 31st to June 27th. And then that's when I asked, why did we not get notified, since this was part of our MOU and the law department were the ones that were helping us and advising us.
So you found that notification that you just spoke of after the window closed or before?
Yes, sir.
Or during?
No, after the window closed, sir. And I have Mr. Gilberto Rivera, who's our HR lead, who we picked up in July. I have his email that lays that out. And that tells me that there was a posting May 31st, posting closed on July 27th. We had sent Honey and LaChica down between the week of the 15th through the 24th, I'm going to say. And that's when it came back and they were like, there's no test. So that was the impression I had. I got it.
I want to ask one more question so I'm clear. The test was it was open from May until July. Prior to that, you had notified civil service that you needed to have a testing. Is that correct?
Correct, but I was told it was only open May 31st to June 27th.
Pastor Jordan, that's the date that I have that was listed earlier.
Okay,
But,
I'm sorry.
So
Okay,
I apologize, but yes, but that's what it was. And the first week of July, once we got the HR in, because it took us 2 months to get him hired, a little over 2 months, we gave him a list of all the actions that we were out of tolerance on. This agency's never had a human resource or a budget. In fact, for the last several years, the union rep was the one that was doing all of our HR and budget responsibilities. So when I came in last year,
my question still is, prior to it being posted, you had notified civil service that there needed to be a test, that you wanted them to have a test.
yes, so we notified through the law department because that was part of the MOU. So we did ask for a test, yes, sir, and so did our lawyers.
Okay, and then you didn't hear anything back from them, and there were no inquiry made until after it was closed.
Sir, there was not, and I even have an email from Lily
I'm sorry, can you just answer my question? I'm not trying to be difficult. I understand. I'm just asking so we can lay out a timeline.
I understand, sir, but that's what I'm trying to get through is that the timeline with the lawyers off of the MOU even sent to me in June was like, when are we going to have this civil service test? That's why I'm trying to explain, like the emails that I was getting throughout the city from different departments were questions of like, when are we going to have this? Have you guys requested it? And we did request it. So that's true, sir.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the commission?
I have a question.
Thank you.
This is for Leanne. How many applicants did we receive applications from within the 4-week window?
If you give me just a moment, I can give you an exact number.
Okay, and while we're looking for that, I'm not sure what the city of Cleveland's IT policy is on personal use of internet resources and IT in general. But if there are people who don't have internet access, are they allowed to apply for outside jobs using the city's resources? Is that allowed? Or should they, maybe use the resources like the public library and other places to do that? I'm not sure what the IT use policy says in regard to that.
Does anyone want to speak to that question?
Like, is it expected that they use the city internet to apply for jobs if they're temps? Like, they have no internet at home. Are they expected to use Cleveland internet to apply for jobs when they're on the?
I believe that the city of Cleveland does have an IT policy or some type of communications policy regarding that.
But to the chair, to my colleague, but this was an internal posting with the internal employees.
It was not. It was
This
not
was
internal. Yeah, it was not an internal
I
posting.
mean, it's
It
a
was
city
open.
posted position though, right?
Yes,
So it's a city position, so it's not like they're applying to an outside organization, but applying to a city position.
correct.
Right.
Okay.
I'm aware. I'm aware. I was just thinking, like, they're temporary they're temporary employees, and they're looking for other jobs. Like, is the expectation that they're looking for jobs while they're on the clock, whether it's city, Cleveland, or elsewhere. The expectations are going to be looking for jobs. They're only there temporarily. That's what the role is for, to find something better for them. So I'm assuming that there are also external candidates who didn't have internet access at their homes that found a way to put the applications in. I had to do that through the library when I was, struggling.
So I did find the number, and it was 50 applicants within the
50
4
applicants
weeks.
in 4 weeks.
Yep, and then we had 39 scheduled to test.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Rivera, the chair recognizes you. Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I am Gilbert Rivera, the new HR connect. And I just want to and actually thank Leanne and all of spending time with me to understand the process. And they can attest, I several emails, several visits down to City Hall to try to understand the process because OPS was not aware of the test. I'm the one that brought that information forward. Even the open and close dates. So I guess what we're asking is the opportunity, and I understand that it is a competitive test, but just the opportunity for the current temps who really gel and support the team, just granted that opportunity to test. And we now understand the parameters of hiring, that the list, we are now part of the team. We will now get the list of lists. So we understand that process. So we understand that there's no guarantees. But just because of the circumstances that were they were out of our control, granted that opportunity. I remember sending an email just requesting for the opportunity for 1 hour for them to apply, or just that. And I think that's really all we're here asking today.
Thank you. The chair recognizes India Lee.
Okay, Mr. Rivera, so what I'm understanding is that the OPS did not receive the posting, that department missed the posting overall. Is that correct?
Yeah, so again, I'm new, so doing the back and forth, OPS was not aware of the posting. And again, I came back with that information. Hey, there is no current list for private secretaries. They had an open application, and then these are the individuals that are going to test in that week, because we discovered this all in 1 week. I found out that there wasn't a current list, there was an open enrollment, and the dates are closed, and that there's a test coming. So I was trying to fill in the gaps that, I can't speak about the previous people that were here or their roles, but just trying to navigate through this as also a new employee, so I can understand the process to make sure that this doesn't happen going forward.
Thank you. Ms. Lee, do you have any follow-up?
No, that's what I wanted to clarify.
Right. Thank you. The chair recognizes Patricia Aston.
Thank you, Pastor Jordan. This is a competitive exam, so if this commission is inclined to open it, you cannot open it for 1 hour. You would have to open it for a period for all, not just these 3 employees, but it would have to be public, so additional people would be notified as well. You cannot place anyone at a disadvantage over someone else. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Guanzon and her advocates have their 10 minutes has expired. So unless there are any other questions from the commission to her or her advocates, I would like to entertain a motion.
Motion to deny the request, Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
Been moved and seconded to deny the request. All in favor?
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye.
Lee abstain.
Thank you. That request was denied. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 10.
Thank you.
Consideration of the request from Brandy Hall for a late filing for the position of private secretary exam. Is Ms. Hall on the call on our Zoom? Is she present? Thank you. Again, the rules still apply for Ms. Hall and for the city. There will be 10 minutes total. That includes the petitioner and advocates. There's a total of 10 minutes to present. And I will start with the city first. So Ms. Guzman.
Hello, Pastor. So the same information applies to this item as it did the last one. The department that the private secretaries are a part of is the department that requested the bulletin be posted. We received that request on May 9th. It was posted from May 31st through June 27th. And it wasn't until 2 weeks ago that anybody from the department came down and started asking questions about when it was going to get posted. Is there an exam? But within those 4 weeks, we had no information. But all the same information from item 9 relates to item 10 as well.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Hall.
Hi, yes. Again, my name is Brandy Hall, and you guys have heard about the cyber attack, and it disrupted a lot of operations here. We hold I can't speak on the external candidates that applied. I can say that as far as me, I do consider myself working internally, whether it's official or not, but I do a lot of work here every day. I work hard with my coworkers to meet some very heavy deadlines, and trying to be creative within this cyber attack. As I do not, even now, my internet is funky. My phone doesn't work 100%. So I'm trying to come up with creative ways to still get my work done and go over and beyond for the department. And I really would just like the opportunity to take the test. I hear the rationale behind the first motion to deny, and I'm really just asking you guys to reconsider, and give us the opportunity to take this exam.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the commission? And I'd like to ask you one more question, so for clarification for myself. Prior to getting an HR person, who was your contact in your operation there, as far as getting bulletins and that type of information?
So, sir, the contact person that should have been on the list should have been Kristen. So Kristen was the interim general manager starting in May when the other manager left. I'm sorry, starting in March when the other general manager left. We did have some issues getting her on the distro, getting people to communicate. I mean, we had a lot of challenges. So, but she would have been the one that should have been on the distro list. Should have received it. Her and I both were tag teaming a lot of those duties together because she also granted. But that's to answer your question, sir. That's it.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the commission? Any further statements from Ms. Hall?
No further statement.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to deny the request, Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
Been moved and seconded to deny the request. All in favor?
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye.
Lee abstain.
Thank you. And that motion was approved. Item 11, consideration of Zakia McNair for the late filing for the position of private secretary exam. Is Ms. McNair present?
Present.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we still have the 10-minute rule, and Ms. Guzman, you may go first.
So the same information as the last two items apply to this one. The bulletin was requested from the department. We posted the bulletin for the 4 weeks, and it wasn't until 2 weeks later that the department was asking about it. And I would also like to add that Marcus Perez is on our distribution list for the bulletins, and he's been on there since I started. I just looked up our records and I see his name on our distribution list. So he should have gotten the email from somebody in civil service, that here attached are the bulletins, attached are the list for lists, and all the other items that we kind of pass out to our HR leads.
Thank you. Ms. Zakia McNair, you have the floor.
Okay, my name is Zakia McNair. I've been here with OPS for almost 4 months now. And just based on what Brandy was speaking on, we really would like the opportunity to take the test because we put in a lot of work here in such a short amount of time, and that work has not gone unnoticed. This job and what we do is, to me, is kind of unique. So just speaking for me and my colleagues, I think we bring a lot of good characteristic and skill sets to this job. We bring a lot of different variety of skills. How can I put this? I'm trying not to get discouraged by you guys' motions for being denied to take the test. So I apologize if I'm moving around or looking around or sound a little shaky. But I think my coworkers and I have the skill sets to be successful here at this position. We put a lot of time, a lot of hard work and dedication into these positions that we've been in temporarily. And I think it shows because both Kristen and Marcus decided to want to keep us as a show of our doing a great job in our positions. We take it very serious, hence as to why we are on this call with you guys. This is just, it's unfortunate that we did miss it, but all I can say is I guarantee you, if you guys do decide to change your mind and give us that opportunity to show you guys what we are capable of, then you guys will let us take the test. We would hit the pavement running. I just want you guys to really take into consideration that we want this really bad. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McNair. Are there any questions from the commission for either side? Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion?
Motion to deny the request, Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
Been moved and seconded to deny the request. All in favor?
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. Are there
Lee
any
abstain.
abstentions?
Yep, Lee
Thank you.
abstain.
Thank you, ma'am. That motion was approved and the request was denied. Before we move on, I would like to say that I am disappointed for this administrative breakdown. And it is, we need to, I'm hoping that this has been repaired so that none of us are ever in this position again. Thank you. Item 12, request to adopt a rule change of Civil Service Commission Rule 4.50, establishing answer key and review of exam papers. Who's going to speak to this item?
Pastor, we were required to have this published in the city record, and that has been done. So we are requesting final adoption of this rule.
Thank you.
Motion to approve, Flickinger.
Second,
Second,
Lee.
Patton.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this rule. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 13, consideration of the request from Public Safety to amend the current classification of Police Inspector General.
Good morning, Nicole Carlton, Assistant Director on behalf of Director Drummond, requesting to revise the classification of Police Inspector General, amending it to Inspector General as a classification, and then the job description, I believe everybody has, amending some of the minimum and requirements for applicants.
Motion to approve, Flickinger.
Second, Lee.
Been moved and seconded to approve the motion. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 14, rejection of applications, 5-day no appeal for the classifications of customer service representative, call center open, receptionist open, bilingual communication specialist open.
Motion to approve, Flickinger.
Second, Lee.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 15, approval of the final eligible list for the classifications of customer service representative, call center open, bilingual communication specialist open, patrol officer Q2 open.
Motion to approve, Flickinger.
Second, Patton.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. Item 16, consideration of the following bulletins: EMT trainee open, plumber open.
Motion to approve, Flickinger.
Second, Lee.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That motion was approved. And with that, I do believe that is all we have to come before this commission. So we stand adjourned.
Pastor.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Oh, yes, thank you. I forgot the other two. Let
Item
me back
6.
up. Let me go back. I am so sorry. Again, we're reading item 6, consideration of the request from the Department of Public Works for an order relative to Brandon Malone, waste collector, division of streets in accordance with Civil Service Rule 9.10, Section 14, fit for duty. Is Mr. Malone present? Seeing that he is not, do I have a motion from this committee?
Motion to approve the request, Flickinger.
Secondly,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the request. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Flickinger, aye.
Patton, aye.
Jordan, aye. That request was approved. Item 7, consideration of the request from the Department of Public Works for an order relative to Jacob Canola.
Pastor,
I'm
you
sorry.
had
We
I'm
already
sorry.
did.
That's the wrong
heard
one.
that one.
What was the other one? Was it?
I
I'm
think that was
sorry.
the only one.
That was
Yeah.
the only one.
I'm sorry. I thought there were 2. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. With that, we do stand adjourned.